Welcome to the Meadowlands. We're here today to talk with Jerry Silverman and talk about some of his horses he's got going, and we'll check in and see how his son Richie's doing. Jerry, you surfaced again with a couple of interesting young prospects the other day. Let's start with Miss Malicious, the Art Major's sister to Malicious. She cost $65,000 in Harrisburg last fall. Was that the right number for her?
We certainly believe she is. She was one of the fillies that just did everything right from day one. She's a great gaited filly. She's got the right disposition. We loved her, and we feel that she'll go right on. We race them easy their first start in a baby race. Next start we go a little bit. We had Ronnie Pierce driver her second start. Tetrick had to pick off, and he seemed to really like her quite a bit. She's going to be entered for Thursday in an overnight race, and she's staked in everything.
Malicious was an excellent 2-year-old. Miss Malicious broke her maiden in 57-1, going the last quarter in 27-3. How well do you like her, and what's your game plan at this point?
Well, I was quite impressed with her. Her driver was quite impressed with her, Ron Pierce, and her game plan is to go in an overnight race Thursday here at Meadowlands. I thought training her till this point right now, she's a filly that was training as good as any filly I ever trained. I said that was our opinion. I shipped her up to my son Richie beginning of May, and he's taken her right from there, and we're ready to roll. We'll see when we meet somebody.
Sky Mesa is a Western Hanover colt that I got to see early on at Fair Winds and set you back $105,000 Harrisburg to get him. What did you see in him then, and how is he progressing?
Well, he was one of my pets from day one. I was out to Fair Winds Farms 4 or 5 times, watched him out there each time that I went for 10, 15 minutes out in the field. He'd always paddle out a little bit, but he looked like a real athlete. Mr. Runick, the owner of him, I mean, that was one of his choices. He loved him, and we set sail for him.
He also qualified well in 157-1 with the last quarter in 27-1. How optimistic are you about his prospects?
Well, I was very impressed with his mother, Savannah Sky. I thought she was a super mare. Obviously, she got sore, and she didn't go on maybe after a 3-year-old career. But I felt very highly on Savannah Sky, and I feel very highly on this colt. This colt wasn't the same as Miss Malicious was. He was a colt that came a little slow the first 2 months, and then he knew what it was all about, and he's been flawless ever since. His last race was an excellent race, sprinted home in 27. He's usually not in front training. I had the filly most of the time training for him. But when Marvin Runick likes one, and he loved those two, we've been lucky. So let's hope it continues.
Are there any other sleepers in the barn that we should be watching out for?
We have a 2-year-old colt named Mojito. He's my credit winner. That is as excellent as a horse could be. My second trainer, Dale Gilmore, he's worked with him the whole winter. There's nobody that rode behind him. I might have sat on him 5 times the whole winter. Dale handled him, and he was a kind of colt that just did everything right up till today. He's had a few hiccups, he's had a few bumps in the road, but we're expecting to baby race him right around the 10th of August, and I'm just extremely high on him.
You talked about your caretaker. What's really the role of the second trainer and a caretaker in a successful stable?
Let me tell you something. A second trainer and good caretakers are the key to this barn right here and to every other barn. They're the people that at 1 in the morning, when you have to put a $50, $150, or a $200,000 colt or filly away, they're there. The trainer stops back to the barn, sees they're okay, and it's in the hands of the groom or the second trainer. I've been very fortunate to have luck that way since I've been in the business. And Dale Gilmore, in my mind, rates as one of the best.
Finally, you use that kid Richie Silverman a lot. Is it out of guilt or out of necessity?
Well, it's out of both. But this kid has turned to be a special driver, in my opinion. He's up against the toughest league there is when you're at Meadowlands or Chester. He's had a successful year so far. In fact, I'll say very successful. But God was with him. He had a terrible accident the other night, terrible accident. We were very, very frightened for him. And thank God, everything's okay. He fractured both his ankles, 2 screws in both ankles, and it's going to be about a 12-week period till he gets back. And, you know, I just miss him and need him because he's a hell of a trainer besides being a driver. Take my word for that.
Thank you all for watching The Edge in America. We send our best wishes out to Richie Silverman. We know everybody watching on The Edge wishes you the best, Richie, and we hope to see you on The Edge along with all our other winners.